Welcome to another episode of Contemplative Spiritual Readings. This is Fr Ted Toppses. I want to read to you today from a wonderful book, St. Iakovos of Evia, 1920 to 1991, by Professor Stylianos Papadopoulos. It is entitled The Garden of the Holy Spirit. And this is page 100, and this is St. Iakovos and the description of his experiences during the Divine Liturgy. Concerning spiritual experiences in the Church during Divine Liturgy, they were wondrous. Many times while commemorating names, he perceived the spiritual condition of the deceased he was commemorating. One time he was seen through the half-door closed of the sanctuary, standing before the altar without touching the ground. On that occasion he had forgotten to commemorate his mother, and she appeared to him complaining, "My Iakovi, everyone got his gift today from you except me." The same happened to him with Bishop Kagaris of Corinth. After he finished the offertory and turned to move towards the holy altar, he saw him standing to the right with his palms cupped, as when a priest is about to receive the Lord's body. He was meticulous in his commemorations and prayers for the departed. He commemorated a great multitude of persons, even monk Anthimos, who had opposed him so much. He once asked God to reveal to him where Anthimos had gone after his death. One night he saw him in a squalid dark cellar, deeply distressed. He greeted him, and Anthimos told him, "Here I am. When you commemorate me, a ray passes through, and I can see a little." He conducted everything simply and orderly. Many times during the cherubic hymn, the blessed liturgist was not alone in the altar. Angels were present, glorifying God, gladdening the atmosphere and helping the priest. He felt their wings touching him and could see their youthful faces. One time, when he went out for the great entrance, a nun saw him moving in the air when he re-entered the sanctuary without touching the ground. She was amazed and crossed herself, as she had not seen a miracle before. And at the end of the service, when the nun went to take his blessing, he told her ingenuously, today the liturgy was different. She took courage and opened up, describing to him how she saw him during the great entrance. But the elder stopped her, saying that she should not reveal anything to anyone. Once, when he was explaining the deacon's duties to a new deacon to make him careful in his duties, he spoke to him about his experiences and visions with deep devoutness. "Ah, Father, if you could see what is going on during the cherubic hymn, when the priest reads the prayer, you would all run away. Angels go up and down invisibly, and many times I feel their wings hitting my shoulders. During the Divine Liturgy, and especially during the cherubic hymn and the anaphora, he shined, radiating purity, blessedness, and majesty. Yes, this exhausted priest-monk, who from 1960 on had always lived and worked with one infirmity or another, was able to move very stately, and yet not provocatively. He exhibited a royal solemnity. It was apparent to everyone that this grandeur of his was due to the immeasurable reverence he had for the mystery of the divine Eucharist. Moreover, it was imposed on him naturally by the presence of, quote, official, quote, bystanders in the sanctuary, that is, angels, archangels, and saints. As he said many times, "Angels and archangels, my child, carry the Lord's body." Soon, all of this caused a radiance to emanate from St. Iakovos. At first, slightly but steadily, wherever he went to serve Divine Liturgy, in the small nearby villages, or when he toured with St. David's holy head, the villagers were unconsciously impressed. He transmitted something to them and inspired them with his particular way, even though he gave no sermons. His joyous face overflowed with pure love, his bright forehead, his eyes that embraced his fellow human beings, and the caressing stateliness of his voice, all these things made people wonder. One had to be out of stone or be completely callous in order not to feel that there was something different about this monk. that the different thing was nothing other than the divine, since he radiated love and brought peace around him. Indeed, when you sat by him, you felt peaceful, unconsciously, whether he spoke to you or not. He transmitted calmness, serenity, internal peace, a gift possessed only by people of God, his chosen vessels, those who love him and serve him with devotion. Blessed Iakovos served God with absolute devotion. He served him fervently in the highest form of service as a priest. There is nothing higher, nothing holier, nothing sweeter, and at the same time nothing more dreadful than a divine liturgy. Even if he got up with a fever, cardiac arrhythmia, chest constriction, terrible phlebitis, he still served the liturgy. In his last years, especially when he constantly lived with heart disease, and since 1986 with a pacemaker, he got up very early and took a long time before going to church in order to gain some strength. He pleaded with St. David, not for his cure, but for his help to be able to stand on his feet and serve liturgy. Yes, all that he wanted was to serve liturgy. Once liturgy was over, let happen whatever God's wills, only let him serve liturgy. To such an extent, the Blessed One desired serving liturgy. Several times exhausted from his infirmities and the fact that he had heard confessions until 3 in the morning, he said, "Today I won't be able to make it. I won't hold out. And these good people come from so far away for liturgy." One time, some saints appeared to him and told him, "Iakovos, aren't you going to serve liturgy today? We came from so far away." He started the service, and as he went on, he felt better. During divine liturgy, he didn't even feel sick. By the end, as he used to say, he felt that he was flying, that he was so light. He always wore inexpensive vestments. He never had or wanted an expensive set. It was only in the last years that he had good vestments, gifts from his spiritual children, but even from these he only used one set whenever it was a feast day or when there were many people. I pray these beautiful experiences are wonderful spiritual food for your soul, and the blessing of St. Iakovos be with you. God bless you. God be with you. Forgive me, the unworthy sinner.